Warning, everything in this video and on this channel is for educational purposes only. All content is intended for viewers 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed by professionals, and all people shown are 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed under the legal Chapter 67(8)(d) here in Nevada. Please do not attempt to recreate or reenact anything you see on this channel.
In this episode of From the Stash, we have a special guest, Bass Drop Keys, aka the Rookie Mycologist, and we go over everything from him growing indoors, how he grows, failing forward, content, and so much more. You're going to want to check this one out. But before we get there, quick shout out to our sponsors. Step into the light of the future with AC Infinity's Ion Frame LED Grow Light. Powered by industry-leading Samsung LM301H EVO diodes, it delivers unparalleled brightness and efficiency. Designed for serious growers, it offers a full spectrum of coverage, precise scheduled controls, as well as innovative sunrise and sunset dimming for a natural light cycle. Its modular, easy-to-manage system ensures optimal heat dissipation and seamless integration with all the smart grow setups that AC Infinity already offers. Experience growth without limits and results that speak for themselves. AC Infinity's Ion Frame EVO Series lights illuminate your path to exceptional yields and dank quality. Learn more at acinfinity.com and use discount code THESTASH15 at checkout to save some money on your order.
From the Stash Podcast.
From the Stash Podcast, we are back, and we got the homie Bass Drop Keys, aka Rookie Mycologist, in the place, man. Appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Hey, thank you. A lot of AKAs for me.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, too. I was going to start running through the list, but then it sounds like I'm talking about a wrestler.
That's it. Everybody calls me Keys. I go by Keys.
Keys, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. It's so crazy how being a content creator works. You learn from people on the internet. If you do good enough, you become their peer. It's so crazy.
Yeah, man. It's one of those situations where I think, especially you coming to the Growers Gauntlet, it's one of those things where when you meet the person behind the screen and it becomes more of the bond where it's like,
right,
the loose term friends, whatever. It's like, that's a friend. That's a homie right there. I know this. Like, I know you now that I've seen you. We've actually met.
Right.
Internet's one thing. I feel like that's COVID friendships. Now, when you meet in person, it's like, okay. And being able to now, you going out in Chris's neck of the woods, we're potentially going to be able to link up in person again, which is even cooler, and we've got a lot of opportunity as content creators to just kick around and mastermind these ideas. And I love doing it, man. So I appreciate you taking the time to join the flow.
I feel worthy. Well, imposter syndrome over here. I worked hard to get here. I appreciate y'all.
Dude, you darn right you have. Man, you're hard not to notice, dude. You've been doing your thing. You've been gaining so much traction in regards to your channels, your hobbies and habits. And before we get into it too much, dude, just real quick, for those that don't know, who are you? What do you do? And how do we find you?
My name is Keys. Most people on the internet know me as Bass Drop Keys, your friendly neighborhood Negro. People always love that. That's one of the best things that I started whenever I started doing that. But anyway, I'm a content creator, cannabis content creator first and foremost. I've been doing this since 2016, so 9 years now. But now people are starting to notice me I got the Rookie Mycologist, which is a mushroom channel. I have 2 cannabis channels, which you guys know me from Goodies 420 and Bass Drop Keys, your friendly neighborhood Negro. People know me from music, finance and real estate, and I have a gambling channel now. So I do a lot of things, just trying to be diverse, so that way I can't get kicked off the internet. I can always be doing something, because now the internet is my life. So crazy to say that, but the internet is my life now. My homies, are we allowed to cuss on here?
Yeah.
Oh, my homies.
Maybe not Brandon Russ cussing, because
you're right.
Shout out to Brandon. He was
exactly. My homies.
I love it though.
They said I'm one of those internet motherfuckers now. Hey, ain't you one of those internet motherfuckers? Yeah, I'm one of those people now. So I love the internet. It's been great to me. But I'm just overall a content creator, trying to get better every day. That's pretty much it.
Man, the amount of stuff you have going on, it's so inspiring, I must say, dude. It's you've got so much energy, and to be able to do 5 or however many channels you have, that's a lot of work and a lot of dedication does it. It's clear that in your content that you really passionate about all these things. So yeah, big props to you.
Appreciate it. I just don't want to be regular. I want to be more. Some people, I don't know, they have a hard time saying it, like somebody going to put them down, whatever, but I want to be big. I work hard. I expect big results, so I'm just going for it. I'm not scared to try.
Hell yeah, man. People who aspire for more, like that's the kind of people that we surround ourselves with as from the stash. And as content creators, a lot of people think everything is just so easy and we're hanging out getting baked. But that consistency and dedication over time, man, it's admirable. It's tough. The mental battles, the peaks and the valleys, the highs and the lows.
Man,
A lot of people don't get it, man. And the fact that you're diversifying into different avenues is brilliant. It really
I
is.
appreciate it. Thanks for you guys having me on. It's so crazy for me to be talking to y'all. I watch so many of you guys' videos. It's so crazy.
Dude, I mean, that's the consistency over time, man. It equals results. You get noticed, you're on the radar. You know, again, coming out to the Growers Gauntlet and, you know, slapping hands and actually seeing the face and be like, oh shit, I know this cat. I've seen his content. You know, it's one of those deals where it's like, initially, it's funny because like, I saw you, I didn't think you know who I was. I waved and then you didn't recognize. So I put my hand down and then I saw someone else and did one of those. Hey.
I know who that is. No, it was just mind blowing for me because I was telling Chris, I'm like, man, you're the reason why I use Blue Planet nutrients. You showed me how to mix nutrients up together. You showed me how to do all. And then he was like, I was looking for you. I said, man, I was wanting to talk to you. That's crazy. So it's just one of those things where I don't check the DMs because there's so many. It's so crazy to me that I'm one of these people that people pretend to be online now. It's like every platform, there's 50, 100 people pretending to be me. So crazy. So I don't even answer DMs. Somebody's always sell me this and yada, yada. I don't even look in there. So because of that, looking through the DMs, you have no idea, like famous people hitting me up and all type of stuff. My famous rapper even hollered at me in my DMs. I'm like, you know who I am? That's so crazy to me, the power of the internet. But I'm glad I get to talk to you guys now.
Yeah, don't ignore those DMs, dude.
Yeah, my goodness.
He has for years.
Years, literally years.
I had the same.
Famous people trying to talk to me like 2021. I'm like, you know who I am? That's so crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot of joy in there too. It just, it can become a burden, man. No matter which way you shape it, you can get hundreds of comments a day, and you know it can it can be a burden. That's why it's a time. You gotta kind of structure your day. It's like at this particular time of the day, I'm going to take 30 minutes.
Set time aside to answer emails and DMs.
That's
and
it,
questions.
man. That's it. And shout out to my wife. She answers a lot more of those than I do.
I see why people have assistants. I don't have an assistant. It's just me.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing. And with that kind of schedule, and you said you were using Blue Planet nutrients before. I'm a lot of viewers of the channel in the gardening. So when it comes to all this shit you're doing, how are you maintaining a grow? Is it automation? Is it organic? Is it like,
right?
It's a busy schedule.
People started. Chris even knows me from the organic side. People really like my lazy man method. I think they like it because people like getting a good result for less work. I mean, who don't like doing that? So I really, it's so crazy that people know me from doing organics because of the last couple of grows, but really I am a synthetic grower. Like I said, I was using Blue Planet because of Chris. I basically been using Blue Planet the whole time whenever I'm using synthetic. I am about to try, today I'm starting a new grow from AC Infinity. They sent me a big box. I don't even know what's in it, but I assume that
it's a huge box and it's heavy.
Yeah, it had a forklift and everything. So I was like, okay, I guess that's my next grow right here. And I'm thinking that that's going to be the Athena grow. So that's not organic. But for me, I'm able to do all this stuff and move around because of auto pots. We all know about light timers and, AC Infinity even got the timers inside the app now, but you still need to be able to feed your plants. And so because I'm an auto pot grower, I can leave and go for a week or two and come back and the plants are just fine. So really auto pots is the reason why I get to move around so much. Now that I'm here in Vegas, it's not too much moving I need to go do except for going to see my kid. But other than that, I'm here in Vegas. The auto pots, they allow me to do everything I need to do because you only need to fill up the reservoir and the auto pots would do the rest for you. I'm an auto pot grower.
Those things make it so much easier, dude. I had the XL system autopot I ran for many years, and then now I actually just got a tray to grow. It does. Oh my God. Talk about making things so much easier when it comes to watering and making sure that you have the optimal amount of moisture in the content, in the medium, I should say. It makes it so much easier on that avenue. So yeah, I love the autopots as well.
Yeah. I just got finished talking to them. There's going to be, you guys get a little behind the scenes. There's going to be 3 new base drop keys packages on the autopot website that they're getting ready to launch. So we're getting ready to do that. I love autopots. I'm an autopot grower. It works for me. You know, some people like they got different things that they like to use, maybe an ebb and flow table or some DIY system. Auto pots work for me, so that's what I'm going to be using no matter what.
Yeah, I feel you on that. There's certain parts of my routine that will not be compromised.
Right. I mean, you just got to find whatever works for you. So if something's working, just keep going with it. Auto pots work for me. Maybe something else works for you. That's fine too.
In the garden, there are 100, maybe 1,000 different variables that you can change and manipulate and kind of fit to your routine. It's okay to keep one or two of those routines static. So, you know, they don't need to change. As I've always said, I hand water my plants because I don't trust a man who doesn't hand water his plants.
Right.
I don't trust any of us.
You can't trust any of you guys.
I used to do that too until I had too many plants, too many tents. And then all of a sudden now you're spending 2 hours to water your plants every other day. It's like, it's got to be a better way to spend your time.
There is.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the key thing is when you start adding more plants in. When I just had a couple, it was like, yeah, no problem. But once I'm over 12 plants, especially, but 6 to 12 plants, depending on the size that you have them, man, that automation difference, dude, holy shit. And the plant growth too, when you're really optimizing, like Chris was saying, that moisture in the media and you're pushing your plant in a crop steering direction, you can see that explosive growth, almost like a hydroponic setup, because it's really feeding directly to those roots accurately.
Yeah, it really depends on how much help do you have. If you're a one person operation like me, I do everything by myself. I mean, that's the reason why I'm definitely not where I want to be, but I definitely, people can see my growth over the years as far as growing. And the reason I'm able to do that is because I do multiple grows. I make myself get better. So like a lot of people, I have some friends that grow outside but they do traditional outside, like not light depths or anything like that. They get one harvest a year. They grow outside the traditional way. They've been growing 20 years. They've had 20 harvests. I've been growing 4 years, or since October 2020 is when I started growing, and I've had over 50 harvests. That's the power of multiple tents. So you got one tent, that's cute, but how can I make myself get better? I can't be at the level of somebody else because I don't have the experience. You can't ever fake experience. So how do I get more experiences? Instead of one grow, I'll do 8 at the same time. I'll do 15 at the same time, all by myself, to make myself get better. So that's what I did. I had a studio apartment with 8 tents in there.
Smart.
That's how I made myself get better. Nobody's going to outwork me. So I just figured, this is what I want to do. I'll outwork the next man, and it's worked for me. Just getting better and better. More harvest, more harvest. The more experience you have, the more problems you see. That's another thing we can talk about too. I don't know if you guys want to talk about content creators. We don't name anybody, but I don't trust people where I don't see mistakes. I watch all your content. I never seen you get powdery mildew. You never had a problem with pest. Never had bud rot. Just all your grows are just perfect. Like, you're perfect.
Yeah. What do you hide?
You want us to believe that? I don't believe that. I don't trust it. I want to see some problems.
Well, and that was the thing. The beginning of CLtv was literally just like teaching you to avoid our mistakes. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like teaching you how to grow good. It was just teaching you how to avoid our mistakes.
Yeah, please. That's what my channel is. Don't do what I just did, or you're going to get these results.
Exactly. And man, for me, I got into business and I started reading autobiographies of people, and it really changed my thought process on failing forward. And I think in the garden, that's a brilliant approach too. And the fact that you had 8 tents, you could fail 1, you could fail 2, and it's going to make 6 of those literally outperform the whole room because you learned those losses to learn those lessons. And I think that's the part of growing.
You can't fix it if you can't see the mistakes. You don't really learn.
Exactly. It's
great for YouTube because I could do a bunch of grows and just put on my good grows and look great as well. I don't think anybody's really learning anything. Like, if you never deal with powdery mildew before, how do you know how to deal with it? If you never had bud rot before, you need to know what it looks like. You need to know what to look for. Like me, I had so many tents up inside my house. It would literally be just dripping water from the humidity. That's how I ended up getting bud rot. Oh, I need to get dehumidifiers. Oh yeah, I know that now. I didn't know that then. You know, when you got 1 tent, it's fine. You got 10 tents, you need dehumidifiers to bring it down, or otherwise you got big buds, traps the moisture. Now you got bud rot. But you don't know that until it happens. So I want to see mistakes. I made that mistake as a young content creator. If I make a mistake, I erase that video and try it again. That was so stupid. I should have been posting all those mistakes. You know what I mean? If I in a video, it's not right. I just throw that away. Okay, take 2. No, I should have been using that. If you're a young creator, put your mistakes in the video. That's where we're going to learn from. We'll respect you more for it too.
Yeah, other people definitely learn from the mistakes. I mean, I think we all still make mistakes to this day. You know, I've been growing for over 15 years now, and I'm still making mistakes. I mean, we were talking about the auto pots a little while ago. I just started using the Tray to Grow, and I put 2 different mediums on the Tray to Grow. I used a Foxfarm Ocean Forest soil, and I used a Bio Flower by Bio 365. Bio Flower did fantastic. The Foxfarm Ocean Forest soil, overwatering symptoms. The medium is too dense. It holds on to moisture too much. It needs more like aeration or something. So like I have seedlings that were overwatered, still making mistakes to this day, right? But I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to go ahead and put that in my video and show people. So if anybody else gets a Tray to Grow, they're not using Foxfarm Ocean Forest soil and getting the same overwatering results that I got, you know?
Right. So you got the Tray to Grow with the flower bed, right?
Tray to Grow. With what?
The flower bed is like the bigger flower bed one, right?
It fits in like a 2x4.
2x4, yeah. Okay, yep. Gotcha. Yeah, I got one of those. I just haven't used it yet. It's in the garage.
I might need to get one of those. Farm.
Yeah, just don't use the Foxfarm Ocean Forest soil.
Well, no, I think this is the great example of the buddy who has 20 grows under his belt, who's been probably doing the exact same thing forever, and his stuff's good every time. Probably it's what it is, but he's never pushing himself. He's never challenging himself. He's never learning more things. Chris, this is a new setup for you. If you would just do the same thing you've done for the last 10 years, you'd have everything would be perfect. It'd be exactly what it is. Like, shout out Mr. Canuck. He doesn't veer away from his process. He has an SOP. He does the exact same thing from the first episode to the last episode, and that's cool for him. I am a nerd with this shit, and I like to be able to try different stuff. I like to be able to see different things. I want to like just nerd out with the plant, find a new process for me that may be an evolution for my whole growing experience. And the breeding side right now is that for me, it just is something that not everybody's looking for that. They just want to grow the plant and get their bud. Right. And I totally respect that. It just, we're different growers in the sense of like, I'm a hobbyist. I like to mess around in the garden. I like to see what I can get from it. I like to try new genetics. I like to try new foods. I like to try new lighting, like all this different shit. And I'm not even getting paid for majority of it. Right. Some people would just rather get their consistent measurable harvest every year, every week, whatever it is. And never veer from that. And I think that's where when you're really busy, it makes sense to do that. Right. But when you're also you're a content creator, Keys, so you're gonna change it up a little different. You're gonna try new things.
Trying to see something for the content. Sometimes you're doing something for the content.
Yes, and that's the thing for us four in particular. Doing things for the content makes it so then sometimes our results aren't as good. But then if we stay consistent at it, we learn and we get better. I think that we do a favor of getting the arrows in our back first for the viewer, and we'll be the guinea pigs. Right. Let me figure it out and then wait and buy it the next time. That was the triploid debacle. I was like, let me get these first. I'll pop them. Don't buy them yet. Instead, people fucking bought them and I look bad. But you really need to be that guy. And I respect you for that you're willing to show these mistakes and learn or fail forward for the people.
I don't take it as some people look at the content, whereas if somebody doesn't like a particular video, whatever, they look at it as like they don't like them. I don't look at it that way. Some people like, yo, Keys, I wasn't feeling that grow. Okay, I'll take that. That's cool. I was trying something new. You know, as far as like Mr. Canucks, all of you guys too. You guys been growing so much longer than me, so I still feel like free to do whatever. I think when you start off, you should just be trying a bunch of stuff. You might mess around and do something nobody else has done before. Never know. But you know, when you get established, you got more years. Like Chris been growing 15 years. I literally been growing 4 years now. So I got a lot more to learn, but I'm trying new things every day. So we'll see what works. I'm basically like an entrepreneur, you know, you try 10 things, you hope one work. If it don't, that's too bad. You try 5 more other things, but just don't quit. We'll figure it out. You know?
And that's the power of the internet too, man. Like when Chris started, there was no internet. They were still chiseling.
I actually bought Chris's book.
Stone. Yeah,
Chris actually wrote a book. I actually bought Chris's book off of Amazon.
Oh hell yeah, man!
Well, when I first started, I'm trying to tell you, I seen the videos, I read it. I really was trying to learn, how do you do this? It's so crazy now. Everything I get paid to do, I learned from the internet, from YouTube, cannabis, mushrooms, even gambling, how to do my music and everything. I learned how to do that from other people on the internet. Now I'm one of those people. It's like a full circle.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of it too. You know, back when I first started growing, we had the grow stores, and they don't exist in Michigan here. There's like one an hour and a half away, and it's sad, man. But that was where you'd get that information. The internet it was definitely more bro science, but you were never really able to see a good visual of the plants. It was a phone, in vertical, just everything looked shitty. And it got to the point where, if you didn't have a mentor or somebody to learn from in person, you would be just pivoting and trying all these different things. But I was lucky when I first started and kind of got a SOP to follow one dude's method. And so my first grow gave me that confidence to say, you know what, I can grow. And it was more, I just followed a recipe. It's like I can cook, but because I just read a recipe on Reddit. Doesn't necessarily mean that, but it gives you the confidence to then say, all right, I'm going to try other things. And I tried DWC. I didn't do organic until like 6 years in, but it really got to the point for me that I found that passion of changing things up and seeing, man, those terpene expressions from different growth methods or from growing it longer or from training it differently. That was the shit that's so cool. And a lot of people, they'll watch stuff and they just want to get from A to Z as soon as they can without going through the trenches. And I think that learning process, you can watch videos on YouTube and you can learn these things, but you got to apply it and try it, fail a couple times, win a couple times, whatever it is. But you get that confidence once your hands are on the shit. It's different. I watched P last night working on his bios on his computer, stressful as hell. But if he really wants to do it, he can do it. It's just that it's because the information is there. You know what I'm saying? It's tough as hell, but everything in the world you want to do, you can attempt. And I love that. A lot of us who've been doing this, we come from different backgrounds, but somehow we've all worked our way into the same shit from just learning from these different pieces and putting it together in our own recipe.
People are just scared to try. That's the main thing. I'm not scared to try. I'm not scared to fail. It's okay. I'll try. I'll fail and I'll try it again. It just you have to have a mindset of, if this is what I want to do, then this is what I want to do. I'm just going to do it. So I don't know if it's bullheaded or just stubborn. If I have my mindset to it, I'm just going to just keep on trying it until I get it. So it's
being motivated, man. Look at the shit behind you.
Yeah, that's what it is.
People who surround themselves with positive affirmations, read motivational things, watch motivational stuff. You want to be more and do more. And you could apply that to anything, as clearly you're doing right now, with not just from the plant, but to organics, to gambling, to all these different avenues. When people can just learn that, try and apply and don't be afraid to fail. But when you got a busy ass schedule, sometimes failing is like, it's almost not even worth doing. You got to do what gives you the results immediately. In your case, you just moved recently. You're doing all these things. How do you manage these buckets? How do you manage these time?
That's a great question. I really it's so crazy. I was just doing it last night. I thought about starting to just schedule like a block of time for this, like these 3 hours, I'm going to be doing this. These 2 hours, I'm going to be doing this. And I've tried to do this a couple of times, but I have so many things going on. But just out of left field, somebody could hit me up today and be like, "Yo, you want to do a podcast tomorrow?" And now your schedule is messed up. So now basically what I do now is before I go to sleep, for the next day, I know what 2 or 3 things I need to accomplish that day. So now that I'm here in Vegas, I got a gambling channel. Okay, I'm going to go to the casino and film this content for this amount of time. I'm going to, last night I had to get I got a new rig sponsor. So I did a video for them. I know I have to get this video out today. So this is the goal. Once you have that done, then you start looking around and then I just moved. So, moving is not over once you put your stuff inside the house. You still got to unpack it. And then, us, we got tents and all this stuff to put up and get ready. So I'm still doing all that stuff. But I think the thing is, whatever is working the most at that particular time, I put more energy into, or whatever I'm trying to grow at a particular time. Because right now the gambling channel is new, but it's like growing really fast. And I don't have to do on the cannabis channels. It's not going to be a video every day. We can't do a video every day because of the nature of our videos. So if you do once a week or twice over, however you do yours, whenever you need to. So that gives you time in between there. The main thing is having everything set up and having some kind of schedule where it's kind of like juggling. There's 3 balls in the air. You're holding 2 of them. Throw those 2 back up, catch these 2. That's basically what I'm doing all the time. I always feel like I'm missing something. I always feel like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? So if I feel like that, I feel like I'm making some moves because I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on right now at all times. So I must be doing all right.
I can appreciate that. Yeah. One thing I benefit the biggest from, aside from working with my wife, is using calendars on my phone, notifications, so that it comes into my phone, so that way I can see it. But like rather, like each day has a particular task. I know the boys and we like to do meetings on Thursdays. Thursdays is just meetings days, and like that helps. It makes for a very long Thursday sometimes because it's just meetings all that day. You know, I like to record on Mondays for particular channel. You know, I like to section it as days, and then that way it's like you give yourself a whole day to accomplish tasks. And like you said, new things come up every single day, so it's like it has to be fluid. I have to be able to adjust, and then on top of that, I've got a family. I've got a son and a wife who rely heavily upon my presence, and so yeah, you have to be fluid. But
Yeah, I'm lucky in
structuring it.
in that aspect. I don't have no wife, no girlfriend, nothing like that. My daughter is 25. She's married in Georgia. So my daughter's an adult. So great. So I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, that's where the schedule makes sense. Like this is my calendar, as you see all these different color coordinates. I mean, they can't. If you're listening,
I have that as well, but then
ridiculous.
I also have a big calendar right there that I write on. So it's kind of like, don't forget where you're supposed to be at.
Yeah, dude. And for me, I set my gardening too. So I set my training days. I set, reservoir changes. I set, watering. Even if I already watered, I get a notification that I have a check mark that I click, because it's like I'm partially automated, but then my clones and seedlings and everything's small. I still got to be in there and deal with. And then my humidity has gone up like crazy. So I'm emptying out my bucket because I don't have my larger dehumidifier right now. I'm having to go down and be in the room and being involved. The beauty of the other end of things that you grow with the organics, with the shrooms, they don't need as much attention as plants, correct?
Right. They don't need as much attention.
That's a real freestyle move.
For me, mushrooms are harder to grow than than our plants because of the whole contamination aspect of it. Because it's so easy to mess up the grow with any form of contam. And it seems like no matter how clean that you try to be, it always happens. Whereas, when we're growing our plants, you don't have to worry about any contamination. And then also, if you're growing photo periods and you're in veg and something goes wrong, you have time to fix it. If it's not autoflowers, you can keep it in veg as long as you need to. Make sure it's healthy. Put it in the flower, and we're on to the next thing. And when you grow shrooms, if it gets contam, if you're not close to harvest, you're going to lose that whole batch. So you spent no telling how many months or weeks you spent to have it fully colonized. Then once you try to grow it, if it's contam, you just wasted 2-3 months, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So for me, it's harder to grow mushrooms, but they take less effort, if that makes sense. You do less work, but it takes more time, and it's easier to contam. So everything's, has its ups and downs, but for me, shrooms is harder for sure. 100%.
Do you use a laminar flow hood at all?
I do have one. I do. Because you obviously being a content creator, I got the best of everything for free. That's one of the benefits. That's why people want to do what we do. I coach people all the time. I do these. I don't know if you guys have like a set day that you guys do your recording on, like as far as your grows and everything that you do. But normally I have a set day, like it might be Tuesday or whatever, where I'm going to record every 10th. So that way I know, whenever you guys watch my videos, you always see like week 1, week 2. I can do it in weeks because I'm recording on the same day every time. So I kind of know what order everything's going in. But it's so with mushrooms and with nature in general, you can't tell it what day to do whatever. You know what I mean? It happens whenever it happens. So because of that and the time that it takes, and you don't even have to make a mistake in order for your mushroom grow to fail. You literally could not be doing anything. And you just open your tent one day and why is everything green? This is not supposed to be green. I just wasted 3 months. So that's why you start learning to have the backup for the backup for the backup. So instead of doing one bag, I'm growing 10 bags. Hopefully something makes it to harvest. Otherwise, I got all this content and no ending. I can't tell you how many times that's happened. I done grew something for 3 months, 4 months, and it stalls out right at the end. What do you do then? I got all this content. I can't. Now I'm looking stupid at the end of it. Hey guys, well, guess we'll start over. What can you do? And so I think that's why people like my stuff, is because I show the real. If it happens, I don't want to be on the internet looking crazy. But I mean, you got to be honest. At least I don't know. I guess some people fake their stuff. I don't fake my stuff. So if I mess it up, I just show the people, and people seem to respect that. Like, okay, I'm gonna mess up too. It's okay. I seen Keys do it. It's fine. We'll start over and do it again. So hopefully my content gives people hope to show you don't have to be perfect. I don't think any of us are perfect. Just try to do the best that you can.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you a grower? Are you tired of lugging around too many bottles? Is it too expensive? Is it so confusing? Tired of reading feed charts? Well, guess what? There is an easier way. Introducing the Stash Blend. You can now get your bag of Stash Blend premium additives that you can add to your garden using just about any base nutrients. Go to stashblend.com and get your order today.
I think one of the main reasons why people, content creators and maybe newer content creators or even veteran content creators will hide their problems is because they don't want the backlash in the comments. I mean, geez, this comment section get pretty ruthless. If you're making problems, some people won't hesitate to call you out and call you out big time. So I think that's like demotivating part of it.
Yes.
But if you're able to kind of just persevere and keep going, and YouTube has those guidelines, bullying, harassment, none of that stuff is even allowed on the platform. So those comments get reported and removed anyways.
But just because it don't even have to be bullying to be true, you know what I mean? You don't even have to say anything. They could be telling you the complete truth, and it just sucks because nobody wants to look bad. And then
True.
I tell people, think about how crazy this is. Okay, so I'm working on a video, whatever. I mess up, and a content creator says, okay, I'm going to edit this and still put it out to you. That's insane. You know, it lives on there forever unless you get your channel deleted or something. Now I'm looking crazy on the internet forever.
This has been, in reality, as I've been doing online since 2014. This has been going on since the beginning of time. If you can put your work out there for people are going to fluff it up. People are going to make it look better. One of the jokes I always say is, like, my plants have yellow leaves on them all the time. And when I start my stream, I always say, I would have plucked these off before the stream in order to look perfect, but I forgot. So here they are. And the reality is like, that's the way it goes. That's gardening. And you know what? You can learn a lot both ways. You can learn a lot from seeing someone who's succeeding, but you know what? One of the biggest things that I find that get overlooked is pests. And I feel like there's like this misconception out there that you just don't deal with pests. Like, pests just aren't a problem because...
Or you're a bad grower.
Or you're really bad if they show up. And, it's like somebody asked me the other day, unfortunately, they have russet mites, and I've never had russet mites. And they asked, how do I help? And I said, I have no idea. I'm sure Chris knows, was really what I said. With all due respect,
flamethrower.
With all due respect, go ask a real grower. Yeah. So I just say it's not a matter of if you get pests; it's a matter of when you get pests. And I think the thing that gets missed is it's an integrated pest management. It's not a reactive pest management plan.
Right.
So, and that's kind of where we get kind of messed up. And you mentioned about Contam. That's kind of why I thought about it, is like, now I'm going to call it Contam because that's way cooler, bro.
That's cool.
You do a real contamination with mushrooms. It's real contamination. You know what I mean?
That's it. And I think like pests and contamination go hand in hand when you're talking about the organes and you're talking about the flowers. That it's a reality, man. And you have to be very careful when you're going in and out of your garden, in and out of your space, because pests and contamination are a very real thing that I feel get overlooked a lot because people just don't want to share the reality.
That's it. If you're going to be doing this, you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. If you want to be a content creator, the comment section is always going to be wild. So if you don't have thick skin, this is not going to be the best profession for you, because they're going to tell you whether you like it or not. They're going to tell you what it is, what they feel, and you can say be respectful, and they can be respectful until tell you that everything you do sucks. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to take it. Yeah, I suck. I'm going to get better. I made these mistakes. I'm going to get better. I mean, if anybody was in the military, then you're going to have the attitude because they put that attitude into you. It doesn't matter what's going on. You suck, and we're going to get better.
That's the way it's got to be, man. And I think when it comes to gardening, again, that fail forward approach, I don't think a lot of people understand that if you don't go through these situations, you don't know how to avoid these situations. You could do everything that's perfect, but unless you're going through Chris's book, you got the Grower's Bible, you got all these things that you've memorized perfectly. You never have to have these situations come up until they come up. So it's like, I wouldn't say like run into the garden with spider mites and all sorts of issues, but don't freak out when it happens and know like, all right, here's my opportunity to fight. Here's where I can show and prove what I've learned, what I can figure out. We're going to make this happen. I've had times where I've straight killed off a plant because it wasn't worth the time to do it. And I just recently did it with a reverted clone that I got. And people were like, bro, what the fuck? You're a content creator. You can't just make it back. I'm like, bro, yeah. And I'm a dad of 2 kids, entrepreneur, and I'm busy as hell. I got nobody to help around the house. I don't have a wife. So it's like, I'm going to make my time optimized properly. And I'm not going to waste it on a project or a thing that I don't need to. And I think taking that approach that you're doing with your grow and you're doing with the organies is brilliant, because it's like, well, worst case condition, I have way more than I need. Best case condition, worst case condition, you have enough to get by. Best case condition, you have way more than you need. Because in a sense, if you have all 8 of those tents do really well, well, damn, you're good for a while. If a couple don't do good, you still are going to be okay. If you put all your eggs in one basket, like a lot of the outdoor grows, unfortunately, your buddy, if he's one time a year, if that veg time fails, that harvest is done. His whole grow for the entire year is gone. So having that process and dialing it in and learning how to do all this shit is great. It's cool. But honestly, having multiple backup plans set up and having multiple plants and different spores and all these things to ensure that no matter what, you're going to get through to the end.
No matter what. Exactly.
I have two questions. The second one came as I was listening to Rob. Can you freeze organies? Can you just put them in the freezer or something?
You can. A lot of people, well, yes, you can definitely freeze them. But the first thing I thought of right then, so whenever we get finished with the mushrooms, you want to dry them. Now, some people decide to dry them organically, meaning they don't want to use any machines or anything. So they might put them on a counter with a fan, or old school, they used to put them in a paper bag and put them outside in the sun just so bugs couldn't get to them and let them dry that way. But these days we got dehydrators and we can dehydrate them. A lot of people though like to use freeze dryers. Now freeze dryers are expensive for sure, but they're great because if you freeze dry them whenever you harvest them, they keep their shape. So whenever you pick it up, it's actually going to look like a mushroom whenever it harvested. Whereas if you dehydrate it, they kind of shrivel up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because you're taking all the moisture out of them. So people definitely freeze dry them for sure. And whenever you do that, you're taking all the moisture out, so they last forever. As long as you have them in a airtight container, jar, bag, Tupperware dish, something like that, they'll last for years and years and years and years. So you can definitely freeze them for sure.
Okay,
nice.
That's good to know, because I
had no idea. I got to freeze the ones I have.
I'm trying to tell you, if you have a freeze dryer, it works great.
Okay, that's great to know. My original question was, we're already this far in. What gets somebody into growing their own organies? Like, what made you think I got to take control of this and I need to do it myself?
Right.
Now?
I always tell people, women, but
that's fair. Dude.
It took a minute.
Yep.
It's kind of true in a way.
Yep.
Obviously, you got to be curious about the subject already. So I had spent a couple months looking at, just like I did whenever I wanted to start growing our plants. I'm a YouTuber. First thing you do is you go on YouTube, you start searching, researching, and then at some point you think, I can do this. I think I can do this. So I was doing the same thing with the mushroom side. Obviously, people know me from the 420 side. So I was like, I need to start doing something that's not, because everything that I do is like right on the edge of legal. I mean, it's all legal, but we're in a gray area with the 420. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for stuff that's fully in the green. So that's where I came up with, okay, maybe mushrooms, I could do mushrooms. So I started looking at a couple of videos. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Maybe I can do it. And then a friend of mine, he actually got some mushrooms from California. And I took some pictures of them when I was at his house. I posted them on my Instagram at the time. And it kind of went like viral. People like, yo, those are tight and all this stuff. And all these women was like, yo, you know how to grow mushrooms? I was like, shit, no, but I'm about to learn though. I tell you that. You want mushrooms? All these women, I love mushrooms. Really? It was a certain girl that I was interested in at the time. She was like, you can grow mushrooms? That's cool as hell. So I was like, yo, I'm definitely growing mushrooms now. So I say women
I'm reading
jokingly.
poetry.
That,
I'm fucking working out.
you know what I mean? I just joined the gym yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, whatever you need.
For
I
real.
got that.
So I was already interested and started studying it. And then, you just have a spark where you be like, I can do this. My spark is I love women.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's good to be
Dude.
single. I know you guys can't say anything. I'm
Doesn't
single.
matter.
That's good.
Hey, that's okay. Hey, it doesn't matter. Hey, I love boobs, dude, and I'm married. It's fair.
I love boobs, bro.
I love boobs. I love explosions like cars. I'm a very simple dude.
So I said
it's
it. I'm one
whatever
of those
gets you into
people.
doing
If
it.
I say it, I do it. So I said, "Hey, guy, I'm gonna grow mushrooms. I'm about to start growing mushrooms." And everybody like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah." And then I did that first video. I don't have anything on TikTok now because they hate my stuff. Anything I post, no matter if it's legal, community guidelines, even like the gambling stuff. I took all my channels off of TikTok now because everything is just take it down. But my first video that I posted on TikTok went viral, like 2 million views in like 48 hours.
Sweet.
And so after that, they let me keep that channel up for like 3 weeks. And I'm getting like 25,000 followers in 3 weeks on TikTok. And so every video I was saying, hey guys, this is like a short version. Come to the YouTube channel. And that's where you can see the full version. So that's what got me really going really fast.
Smart.
Because I'm at 2 years now on the Mushroom channel, and I'm about to hit 140,000 subscribers
Good for you, dude.
Hell yeah.
in 2 years.
It's awesome.
That's
So it's-
impressive.
I think being hyper focused on a niche too, instead of having it be on your other channel, separating these things with Rookie Mycologist, and
Yes.
again, showing it's rare in these day and age to see people failing forward on the internet and showing the ups and the downs and talking about that stuff. It'd be different if in your videos you were just like doing things wrong and they were shitty, but it's one thing when you do everything on paper right and then it still doesn't turn out.
Man,
That's when people are like, okay, this is the video I was looking for because I almost quit growing.
So
but I
frustrating.
needed somebody to see that this is normal, that I'm
Right.
normal to fail.
That's
and
what it
it's-
is. I think what people, if you're a content creator and you don't show your mistakes, you're doing your audience a big disservice. Because what happens when they love you, they love all your stuff, they're following exactly what you do, and they get to whatever point it is, and they're having mistakes. They've never seen you had mistakes, so now they feel like, oh, I'm a terrible grower. I never seen Chris have powdery mildew. Now I got powdery mildew. I must be terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to quit.
in
Whereas
Nevada.
if they see you have it, it's totally normal. This is how we're going to work through it. If you have these problems, it's fine. This is how we try to fix it and go forward. So it's very important if you're going to be a content creator, show your mistakes. Show your mistakes. I'm trying to tell you, I should have been doing it from the very beginning. I didn't know that was. I was thinking about now all the videos that I could have had if I would have kept that footage, but I deleted it and started all over again, which was so stupid.
Yeah, you know what? That
Well, I
was
think
your
it-
mistake, right? That was a mistake. Now you learn from
as a
it.
mistake in itself.
Yeah, when you don't know, you don't know. That's
right.
what ignorance
That's right.
is. You know.
You learn from it. You learn from it and grow. Like that's the biggest thing I think for most growers of any kind kind of understand is that's the reality of our passion is that it's not. I've said static earlier, but it's like it changes, it evolves, it's different every time. You can try to run the exact same method, the exact same receipt or recipe every time. And you know what? The environment's going to be different. The temp's there, the humidity's up. It's like it's different. But that's the joy of it. That's
Right.
what brings the guesswork out of it. That's what brings the story. And that's why I love gardening. It's like if success happened all the time over and over and over again, it would be boring and we wouldn't learn anything. And I tell that to my son. It's like he grew up, he's a hockey player and he's a goalie and he plays on shitty teams and they lose a lot. And it's like, I tell him, it's like, you've learned more about yourself losing than you would have ever learned by winning over and over and over again. You become arrogant with wins and with success. So challenges are very important. And that's why we grow.
Sure.
Yeah, well, it's like I had times when I first started growing. My first grow was great. Second grow, it wasn't great genetics, and I thought it was me. Third grow, same thing. I cloned those ones, and I'm like, what, dude, there's no terps. What am I doing? And it was literally only once I picked up Jorge Cervantes' book, and it talked more about genetics, and it got me understanding that, like, this isn't just a plant. I'm an idiot thinking that, cut's a cut's a cut. Just give me whatever you got.
Right.
And then I started really realizing, like, okay, I need to be very hyper specific in what I'm trying to get. And it was only that end that had me continue because I really was considering quitting at a certain point. It was literally, I think, my third or second grow. And it was my third grow. just because I was like, damn, man, that was a fluke. That first run was, I don't know what I did. Now that I'm veering off this dude's recipe,
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing. And it turned out it was one small thing. And I see it in my chat often. People are like, dude, this is my 5th grow. Everything I've had is no terps. I can't dry and cure or something. I don't know what I'm doing. We get down to the bottom of it. I'm like, where'd you get your genetics? They're like, oh, I Google searched and I got Chem Dog and AK-47. And I'm like, or just some random bag seed from the dispo. And I'm like, brother, here's your problem. You're starting off with a crippled leg and trying to win this race. Like, it's just not feasible. But people who don't have the availability to find this information because everything's perfect and refined online, it literally will make you feel like inadequate and you'll doubt yourself. Because like, damn, man, I can't even see. No one's ever had this issue. No one's run into this. It's like, no.
I tell everybody
the
number one thing, especially if you're going to be doing the lazy man method, the people where you don't do much, you have to have good. Number one is good genetics. So you know exactly where you're getting it from. I tell everybody, whoever your favorite grower is, whatever you see them growing such and such from this breeder, whatever the case is, you can get those same seeds. These days now, you know, like you guys were coming up, you had to know people to know people to know people. I came up in the LED. I can get whatever I wanted to click of a button age. You know what I'm saying? You guys come from like HPSs and
blurp,
non-efficient lights, and your electric bill's going to be out the ass because there's so much heat generated. Now I got LEDs, low bills. If I need something, I can just go online and get it. You guys that were growing, the veterans, you made it real easy for people like me. We appreciate you because you went through all the bad, so that we got it pretty good now. You know? Everything's
that's
cheap.
Literally why I started my channel.
The point.
Ventilation, everything's cheap now. I never had to deal with a high pressure sodium or those big ass bulbs, or you know what I mean. You were telling me these stories about trying to direct heat a certain way, and it's so hot. I never had to deal with any of that type of stuff.
Not touching them with your fingers so that they didn't put oil on the bulb. Like it was.
Yeah, I hear about this kind of stuff. I never had to deal with any of that
reaching in through the little vent to
unscrew it.
No. Once you turn them off, letting them cool down for like 7 to 10 minutes before you can actually touch them.
Touch it.
Yeah, that's what they're telling me. Like they're not efficient at all. So that heat would just go everywhere, and so your bill is crazy, and then. You can't really even have them inside your tent because they're so hot. So now you got to do something about the temperature. So you got to add what? Humidity or air conditioning or something. I'm like, man.
There was no tent.
There was just Gorilla. I think Gorilla Grow Tent was the only one that was known. The only company that I knew of back then that had, and it was like $2,000 for a 4x4, dude. Like it was outrageous price. It was literally like when LEDs were at that point. And this is where like it took me going from the 1,000 watt high pressure sodium to a 600 watt high pressure sodium to a 315 watt ceramic metal halide to then LED.
Yes, and the guys were telling me that it'd be $1,000 for just this bulb and this. I'm like, really? I can have a whole setup for $300.
Fucking
you changed bulbs between grows. Like you had the MH for the metal halide for veg, then you had HPS for flower. And then you had CMH. There was So, anyways,
dude, throwback, man. T5 fluorescent lights for your veg, dude. We're going down memory lane.
I remember
now.
getting excited when we could flip a switch for like full spec, like just flip a switch from one spectrum to the next spectrum, and then lights were full spec. Oh my god, what a journey!
I didn't believe in that. I thought it was witch magic and voodoo. I didn't trust any of it. I was like, it's bullshit. I unscrew my bulbs, so I had 2 separate lights. But it's like. I only learned this stuff again because the grow store, and I had all these OGs who've been growing since the 70s who were like, "Hey, here's what we did. We had the winged hoods and it's like I got all this information that then got to translate onto the internet, and it was like we could take this encyclopedia and digitize it, and now we've got people like Keys who 4 years into it is right on par with everybody else because you got to skip past all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
I know some people I know some growers that still use Miracle Grow for their, I mean, we were talking about before where you got this SOP that you stick to because it's been working all these years. At some point, though, you do need to kind of get with it. I mean, they're still giving fire plants with Miracle Grow. They've been doing it so long. But we have nutrients now for our plants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give it the program.
I guess if it's not broken, don't fix it. And if you get good products that way, you can go that way. But we have other things you can use now.
Yeah, you know what? You're 100% right. You got to get with the times. But there was like a lot of people shit on Miracle Grow.
Yeah, I don't. If it works, it works.
And that's the Scott's side of things more so than it is the Miracle Grow thing. Like Miracle Grow played a very important role in the evolution of our plant throughout the late 80s, 90s. That was all you could get. Like that was it. That was like there was no.
I have some older gentlemen that's
specific.
been growing 20, 25 years to tell me all these stories. That's like, man, it's so crazy. Just like I guess that's how people feel back whenever they were like hauling liquor or whatever, bootlegging or whatever the case is back in the day. Kind of feel like the early people, we appreciate everybody that went through that because I got it so easy right now. I could just clickety, clackety, clickety. Something cheap's going to be here that's fantastic. And I could use it for years. It's so crazy.
It's funny how we've gone from like we went from natural, from slow release nutrients to synthetic to organic. Now we're back to slow release.
Yeah, grow dots doing slow release.
Yeah, we're back to
that's so great. The first time I seen grow dots, I was like, what is this? What's in my soil? And somebody had to explain it to me. I was like, oh, is that what that is? I thought it was like some kind of what is these eggs or something? Somebody's hatched eggs or something?
It's one of those things where the science has evolved and now it's catered to our plant. And I think that's the beauty of it again is you don't really have to fail as much these days. Right. You don't have to be in those situations. Like there almost is no excuse unless you're doing what we're doing and trying a bunch of different shit and throwing a million things and hoping one sticks. That's a little different. But if you're following one recipe, one formula, man, there's so many proven out there at this point, you don't have to fail if you just want to harvest and get some bud. But if you want to be a hobbyist and experience stuff and try different things, different training methods, new genetics, be prepared to fail. I truly feel like you got to be prepared to fail and know that that's a part of the game. And if you're not failing at all, you're probably doing I wouldn't say doing something right, but doing something too safe for my liking.
Right. They're trying to push the boundary on what I can do. That's one of the things too, whenever you're a content creator, you're trying different things. People try to attribute whatever you're trying to you. So like my past, I think 3 or 4 grows, I've been doing this base drop keys, lazy man method, where it's just trying to do as least as possible and get the most out of it, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so people be like, oh, those plants look shitty or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying something new, trying to see if I can change it up the way something is done, try something new. But I think these grows going forward, I'm going to show them that I'm a real grower now. But like, don't get it twisted because I'm doing all this experimenting. I'm going to show them that, no, I'm the real deal. So look forward to these grows coming up. I always feel like there's like a chip on my shoulder, like there's always something to prove. I guess because I didn't come from, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't before I started, there was nobody making content around me. So I didn't have anybody to look up to or whatever the case is. I got to where I am by trying, failing, trying, failing. We were saying earlier about somebody got to go first and take the arrows. That's me. I go take the arrows and then I come back. Hey guys, this is how we do it right here. So I always feel like I got to prove myself. Even now, I was telling Chris, I'm very, very grateful to be where I'm at, but I feel like I should be even bigger with as much work that I put in. I'm one of the I don't care who it is. I'm one of the hardest working content creators that there is. So I appreciate you guys having me on, but I feel I should be bigger. So I got more to prove. So I want to show them that I'm not a fluke. I got here from hard work and I'm a real grower. You know what I mean? No matter what I'm doing, all this other stuff, I'm a real grower now.
I respect that.
That's how it's got to be, man. Like I was saying, you got to have that aspiration and that internal drive where you can't settle for basic. Like, it's a principle. There's this dude, Grant Cardone. I used to listen to a lot of. You're probably familiar with the business.
I know he is. Yeah.
The 10x, whatever your goal is, 10x that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Aim for the stars, but shoot for the moon. It's like you're trying to go as far as you can. In worst case condition, I land way further than I was when I was thinking average.
I feel like that for sure because I don't feel like I'm even supposed to be here. I just So I'm like,
imagine, got lucky. It's worked out, man. The universe has blessed you.
A little bit of your actions and a lot of hard work.
Full advantage of it. Take full advantage of it. Keys, man. If anybody wanted to catch up and wanted to touch base and they wanted to watch this hustle, dude, where could they find you, man?
Man, what a great question. I mean, I am on Instagram. Like I said, my main Instagram just did get deleted, but I started a new one. So official Rookie Myco on Instagram. Make sure it's the verified one. There's a million people pretending to be me online, so make sure it's always the verified one. Okay. That's me. So just official Rookie Myco on Instagram or Bass Drop Keys on Instagram, where you can find me. Hopefully, I'll see your DM. Or
right, we'll make sure
you come join my Discord too. By the way, join the Discord.
Okay, we'll make sure we link that in the description when the episode posts. Stick around after this. We're just gonna touch base and make sure everything goes well, dude. We're gonna make sure the bass drops. Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for being here, man. It was an absolute
Great
pleasure. And I think we
conversation,
just kind of
dude.
like
Thank you, guys.
scratched the surface, dude. I think we're due for a number 2, man. And we'll be in
When
touch.
we're in person, dude, we actually can do one in person.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
in
beauty.
Vegas
Sure. I hope
now.
you guys come to
Yeah.
Vegas. Me and Chris are already here.
We'll be there.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll be there. Thank you.
100%.
Thanks,
Yes,
Keith.
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me on.
For From the Stash, my name is Rob. This is Pigeons. Mr. Grow It. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.